Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. Today we are talking about two forms of the same verb that cause a surprising amount of confusion for learners at every level. These are not two completely separate words. They are two forms of the verb have. But when to use which form and why is something that many learners never fully understand. And today we are going to change that completely.
Yes, and once you understand the grammar behind have and having, your sentences will become much more accurate, much more natural, and you will be able to express far more complex ideas in English with real confidence.
The two forms today are have and having. Let us start by getting clear on what each form is.
Have is what we call the base form, or the infinitive form of the verb. It is also the present simple form for most subjects. I have, you have, we have, they have.
Having is what we call the present participle or the gerund form. It is the ing form of the verb. And this form has several very specific and important jobs in English.
So the question is not really which word is correct in an absolute sense. The question is what grammatical situation are you in and which form does that situation require? Let us go through the main situations one at a time.
The first situation is simple present tense statements and questions. In this situation, you use have as the base form. I have a car. She has a problem. Do you have any questions? They have 3 children.
In all of those, have is the main verb in the present tense. It is not an ing form, just the base form.
The second situation is present perfect tense. In this situation, you use have or has as the helping verb, followed by the past participle of another verb. I have finished my work. She has gone home. They have been waiting for an hour.
Here, have is the helping verb. It is not in the ing form, because helping verbs do not take the ing form in perfect tenses. Have finished, has gone, have been. The have is always the base form.
The third situation is continuous tenses. In continuous tenses, have can become having, but only in the perfect continuous structures. I have been having a great time. She has been having trouble sleeping. They had been having difficulties for months.
In those structures, having is the main verb in its ing form following been. Have been having, has been having, had been having. The ing form of have appears here to show an ongoing state or experience.
The fourth situation is having in participial phrases. This is slightly more advanced but very worth knowing. When having starts a phrase that gives additional information about the subject, it works as a participle. Having arrived early, she found a good seat. Having finished her homework, she went outside to play. Having studied for weeks, he felt confident before the exam.
In all of those, having plus the past participle creates a phrase that describes what happened before the main action. Having arrived early tells you she arrived first and then found a seat. It compresses information efficiently and sounds very natural in written and formal English.
Now let me compare have and having in the same type of sentence to show how the form changes the grammatical function.
I have a lot of work to do. Have is the main verb in present simple. I am having a meeting this afternoon. Having is the main verb in present continuous. She enjoys have or having a good conversation. Having is correct here, because after enjoy, you need the gerund form.
Enjoy having, not enjoy have. After verbs like enjoy, avoid, suggest, consider, finish, mind, and many others, you need the ing form, so having is required. She enjoys having a good conversation. He avoids having arguments. They finished having lunch and left.
That verb plus gerund pattern is one of the most important structures in English, and having is very commonly the gerund in those structures.
After prepositions, the rule is the same. Thank you for have versus thank you for having. For having is correct. For is a preposition, and after prepositions, you always need the ing form. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us in your home.
About having, before having, without having, against having. All of these use the ing form because they follow prepositions.
Now let me talk about the difference between have in the continuous tense versus have as a stative verb.
Have as a stative verb means to possess or to own. I have a car, she has a sister, they have a house. In this possession sense, have is a stative verb, and stative verbs are not normally used in the continuous form.
So you wouldn't say I am having a car or she is having a sister. Those sound wrong because having as a continuous form does not apply to permanent possession.
But have in the sense of experiencing something or doing something is not stative and can be used in the continuous form. I am having a great time. She is having lunch. They are having a meeting. He is having a bad day.
In those examples, having expresses an ongoing experience or activity in the present moment, not possession, and that's why the continuous form works.
So, the key question is, what does have mean in this sentence? If it means possession, stay with the base form. I have a car, not I am having a car. If it means experiencing something or doing something, you can use the continuous form. I am having a wonderful experience.
Now let me also talk about the auxiliary use of have versus having. Have as an auxiliary verb is always in its base form or conjugated as has or had. I have been working. She has been studying. They had been waiting. In all of those, have, has, and had are auxiliaries, helping the main verb. They do not become having.
Having is never used as an auxiliary. If you see having in a sentence, it is either the main verb in a continuous tense following the auxiliary been, or it is a gerund, or it is a participial phrase.
That rule is clean and helpful. Having is never an auxiliary. Have, has, and had are the auxiliaries.
Now let us go through the most common mistakes learners make with have and having.
Mistake number 1 is using have after prepositions instead of having, saying thank you for have me here instead of thank you for having me here. After prepositions, you always need the ing form, for having, without having, after having.
Mistake number 2 is using have after verbs that require the gerund, saying she enjoys have a good conversation instead of she enjoys having a good conversation. After enjoy and other verbs that take gerunds, you need having, not have.
Mistake number 3 is using having as a continuous form with possession, saying I am having a new car when you mean you own a new car. Possession uses the base form, I have a new car.
Mistake number 4 is using having as an auxiliary, saying having been working there for years instead of having worked there for years, or she having finished her work instead of having finished her work. The participial phrase with having uses having plus the past participle, not having as an auxiliary with a continuous form.
Mistake number 5 is not knowing the after having structure. Saying after he finished dinner, he relaxed is correct, but after having finished dinner, he relaxed is also correct and more formal. Many learners avoid after having because they are not sure of it.
Mistake number 6 is forgetting that have, in the sense of experiencing something, can be used in the continuous, saying, I have a good time right now, instead of, I am having a good time right now. When describing an ongoing experience in the present moment, the continuous is natural.
And mistake number 7 is confusing have as the auxiliary with have as the main verb. In have been having, the first have is the auxiliary and the second having is the main verb in its ing form. Understanding this structure removes a lot of confusion.
Now, let us do a practice round. I will give you a sentence with a blank, and you fill in have or having and explain why.
Ready.
She enjoys blank long walks in the evening.
Having. After enjoy, you need the gerund form. She enjoys having long walks in the evening.
They blank been working on this project for 3 months.
Have. Have as the auxiliary verb in present perfect continuous. They have been working on this project for 3 months.
After blank a difficult day, she decided to take a bath and relax.
Having.
after plus the gerund form. After having a difficult day, she decided to relax.
Blank good communication skills is one of the most valuable things in professional life.
Having. Having as a gerund is the subject of the sentence. Having good communication skills is one of the most valuable things in professional life.
Blank worked in the field for 10 years. She felt ready to lead her own team.
Having. Having plus past participle as a participial phrase. Having worked in the field for 10 years, she felt ready to lead her own team.
They are blank a wonderful time at the festival.
Having. Are having for an ongoing experience in the present. They are having a wonderful time at the festival.
I appreciate you for blank the patience to explain this clearly.
Having. For plus gerund form. I appreciate you for having the patience to explain this clearly.
He blank 3 siblings and they all live in different countries.
Has. Simple present tense possession. He has 3 siblings and they all live in different countries.
Every answer was right and the reasoning was clear every time.
And listeners, I hope you were applying the key questions. Is this possession or a simple present statement? Use have. Is this after a preposition? Use having. Is this after a verb that takes a gerund? Use having. Is this an ongoing experience right now? Use am or is or are having. Is this a participial phrase? Use having plus past participle.
Those questions guide you correctly in almost every situation.
Now, let me close with something that I think will help everyone feel calm and confident about this topic.
Please.
Have and having are forms of one of the most important verbs in English. You use one or the other dozens of times every day. Getting them right makes your English feel natural and correct. Getting them wrong is one of the most common and noticeable grammar errors learners make.
But now you have the framework. You understand the jobs that each form does. You know that have is for simple statements, auxiliaries, and possession, and having is for gerunds, after prepositions, after certain verbs, in continuous tenses when describing experiences, and in participial phrases.
That framework turns uncertainty into clarity, and clarity gives you confidence to write and speak without hesitation.
And the more you practice using these forms correctly, the more they will feel automatic. You will stop thinking about rules and start just using the right form naturally because it has become part of your English instinct.
Thank you so much for being here.